Hi there. So this video is for those of you who are into the indigenous medicine music, or maybe not even specifically just the indigenous medicine music, but also like the medicine music in general. I receive a lot of questions from people from time to time about, is it okay to share these medicine songs? Is it okay for me to sing them? Do I have permission? And I've also, there's a lot of talk about cultural appropriation, people blaming others for like, oh, you're singing songs that are not of your tradition or culture, and that's not okay. Um, I've personally been, you know, working with the medicine music for about 9 years, or almost 10 years. Wow, time flies. Uh, and the medicine music has been such an important part of my path. It's really been so healing and given me so much support. It's like a really important resource, and I know it is for so many others as well. It like helps us tap back into those energies of the spirit realm, of the medicine of nature. And like for me, like when I started working actively and intentionally with the plant medicine about 10 years ago, like I started playing guitar again after like 15 years of not having played guitar. And it was really inspiring, the medicine music, to practice, to learn how to sing, and also to connect with my voice and to stay connected to the medicine and the teachings that are transmitted through the songs. And so as part of my own journey, I then started recording songs and sharing them onto SoundCloud, so that I had, it was for me part of my study process, to witness myself, to learn about my own expression. Where can I maybe refine, where could I do better, and also wanting to kind of like, I felt the calling to step out and share. And there were many times, grateful comments, but I've also gotten comments from people, saying that, oh, this song is mine, or this is someone else's song. You're not allowed to share it without permission. And receiving those kinds of messages was really like, shook me to the core, and I felt really guilty and ashamed that, is this okay? And so I want to kind of like speak about that, because I think it's, many people who come to this medicine path from our kind of like capitalist world, where things are owned, and you have to have like rights to use things. Uh, I feel the importance of speaking on behalf of nature, kind of, because when we work with the medicine songs, these are gifts from spirits. They're gifts from life, from nature, and nature is something that works differently than this capitalistic structure that has been imposed upon us by, well, probably also with certain kind of good intentions, but possibly also with some strong opportunistic intentions. But the vision and the kind of message that I got from nature is that these songs are kind of like, it's like life force coming through spirit, and the songs are kind of like flowers. It's an expression of this spirit of nature. And flowers and plants, they all want to spread their seeds, and they want the wind to take them away, and the seeds kind of land somewhere, and some of them sprout and grow. And for me, like, the songs kind of, they work the same way, that we might get enchanted and charmed by like a song. We might fall in love with the song, and then we feel like we want to share it as well. And that's just that seed of that flower wanting to grow and express itself in another way. And I think it's beautiful if we can kind of, if we are singing the songs of other people, to to give credit, say that I learned this from song through this person, or this is the original author, if we know, because that's like our way of showing our respect and reverence also to the path before us. What I've learned in my relationship with my Huni Kuĩ family. I'm married to a Huni Kuĩ Indian from the Jordão area, from Acre, Brazil. They have like huge reverence for and respect for their parents, and it's like everything is, you know, we come from there. So for me, like showing the respect to those who have carried, who have introduced us or brought these songs to us, is really a beautiful way of giving back, and it kind of helps to keep the reciprocity alive as well. So I understand that in the capitalistic world there is a place where we are, that there it's so if we I understand that it's important to, you know, when it comes to like money and things like that, that if we are going to be selling music or making certain money out of sharing a specific song, then it's fair to give a share to the original author of that song, maybe, or however it works in the patent system. But if we are just sharing things for free without like getting like personal financial profit for it, I don't think we need to kind of be asking for permission. Does a flower, a seed that grows from the ground, ask for permission from its its parent plants for the permission to grow and flower? I don't think so. So nature wants to grow and evolve and spread, and these songs for me, they are medicine that our planet, our humanity really needs, and it's nature itself that is the force behind these songs that are traveling and spreading. So that's one point that I wanted to talk about. Um, and this relates also to like, if I now bridge over to this indigenous music, that in the indigenous world, I've also had the experience when I visit the communities there in the Amazon, and I hear a song that I really like, uh, and I ask the person who's playing it or singing it, like, whose song is that? Whose song is that? I always get the answer, it's mine, it's mine. And they, in the indigenous tradition, uh, they have this culture and tradition of sharing. And they, for example, when people receive medicine or initiations from someone, it's like they are asking to receive the energy, the transmission, the force of the singer or the teacher or the healer, when they are learning and receiving, yeah. So but then it's like them creating their own version of the song, and that's theirs. And so you'll find a lot, like in the when you listen to online to the medicine songs from the indigenous people, that there's a lot of versions of the same song. Maybe the lyrics change a bit. Maybe someone adjusts the melodies a little bit. Uh, the It's kind of like in nature. There is this yellow-rumped cacique bird, the Txana bird, whose feathers I've got here. It's a member of the starling bird family. The Txana in the Huni Kuĩ tradition is considered the bird that is a sacred teacher and ally and messenger. It knows how to mimic all the sounds of nature, and it brings messages. So, like through our songs, we are communicating the messages that we are receiving as well. And it's not for like to be held and owned, it's to be, yeah, part of this bigger system where we're all kind of coexisting together and supporting and serving each other. So, you'll find that, for example, there are indigenous tribes who have lost much of their connection with their ancestors. For example, the Yawanawa tribe. many of the songs that the Yawanawa people are famous for, they have copied from other indigenous tribes, principally the Huni Kuĩ and the Colina people. And also they sing many Huni Kuĩ songs as well, and maybe from other traditions as well. And in more recent years, they have been receiving songs like from the Force of the Medicine, to which they are then singing, that then have are sounds that and words that they have received and are sharing. So that's their process of learning. Now, when it comes to permission to sharing these songs, because this is a question that I get a lot as well, there are a lot of the artists out there, they don't know what they're singing. Many of them have lost, they don't speak their mother tongue anymore. They don't understand the original prayers. They're not even singing them necessarily correctly. Or their song is an artistic interpretation. They're artists. Now, that's very different from like the songs that they have. Many of these songs originally have functioned as specific like healing prayers to communicate with the spirit realms, like invoking certain spirits for certain tasks or for certain support. And different songs and prayers have different purposes and functions. And those when these songs are sung without like understanding or intention, I guess their power kind of diminishes, or it doesn't serve that function anymore. But I've noticed that there is this kind of tendency for us in the Western world, that we get really enchanted by the strong energy of the indigenous people, and romanticize and think that they're like know it all, and that they've got it all. But they're humans. They've also have their colonial history. They've been cut off from their past. There are some families and lineages and communities that are still carrying the knowledge of their ancestors, and know the meaning of the songs, know how to sing them correctly, uh, and and that's where that live lineage is like communicating with the spirits to do the actual maybe like healing work or the prayer work. There's a lot of songs like ceremonies out there where the ones leading the ceremony, they don't necessarily know what they're singing. They don't know what spirit they're invoking or asking, and that can create a lot of like, there's not a lot of intention. The intent, certain kind of intention there is, or let's say the intention is maybe different from what, there might be a mismatch in intention, let's say. So between what we Westerners are seeking and what they are offering us, because they have the indigenous communities, many of them are traveling around here also with this intention to earn resources to take care of their communities and families. That's like their primary intention rather than healing us. And so it's something to be aware of, so that you can, I'd say go ahead, enjoy singing the songs, but maybe to be aware that, a lot of the songs also, they might be about hunting, they might be about, there are some songs that are specifically for ayahuasca, some are calling other different plant medicines, some are, calling on fish in the river. And they have relationships with these different spirit beings and animals, and when they consciously sing and invoke these, and they use them then intentionally to navigate in the medicine spaces. But when you're just singing something that you don't really know about, then there's, let's say, they're a bit shallower. So I think it's good to be mindful and aware of this, especially if one is intending to work with these songs in ceremony. That if you don't know what you're singing, then you don't know what you're channeling, and you don't know what you're bringing into that space, and you don't know how it's going to affect other people. Just, it's good to be aware of that. And just as an example, of what can happen is there is one song that has been sung a lot by the Yawanawa, for example, which is a fertility song. It's a song that in the Huni Kuĩ tradition, they sing it for getting pregnant, to have more children. And these kinds of songs being sung in the ceremony space, I think they're a bit out of context maybe. In the Huni Kuĩ tradition, when they hear that song, if they don't want to have kids, they close their ears and they won't listen to it. So surely that's okay. If we don't understand, we don't receive. Because also part of like receiving the healing is about, asking for what we want so that we can be receptive to receive it. If we don't know what we're asking for, then we're probably not gonna, it's just gonna pass us by. So no worries also from that respect. But if you want to be working with integrity, if you have an intention that you want to create healing space with your music and work with integrity, know what you're working with, I really recommend getting to know what you are singing and why, and also seeking out, people who really know and understand the songs. So many of these more famous, at least, I know more about what the Huni Kuĩ community, but many of them than some other indigenous tribes. So I'm not, I don't want to generalize here, but many of these that have been kind of like the trailblazers and have been the first to travel out into Europe and the US. Many of them grew up in the cities. They disconnected from the ancestral kind of tradition. Many of them don't come from lineages of like healers as such. Many, or what do I know really? But these are stories that I've heard, and what story doesn't want to be told? Where was I? See, there's always these spirits here that are kind of like trying to dictate what's okay to talk about and what's not. So, where was I? Yeah. So I received a question from someone who was saying that who had asked one of these traveling musicians, space holders, if they could have permission to share these songs, and the answer had been that that you need to seek out someone who knows the songs. And so there are some elder people still alive who speak the language and know the prayers. And I've been really, felt a real call to learn how to sing these songs correctly. And I spent a long time being super confused about what's like the correct version of the song, because there's so many versions and so many ways of singing it. And like, that's how I ended up, connecting with my husband, because he seemed to be able to answer my questions better than others. And his family does have these professional Txana singers who know some of the original songs, but these songs, they're also alive and they're constantly evolving and changing. So there is no like one single right version. Uh, but when one starts to like explore and ask the questions from them, they also start to like study and get curious about the meaning and the songs. So there are some song books out there created by Indigenous people, and I've also created one of my own songbooks, which is kind of has been the result of my study of my favorite songs. And I've created a little dictionary there as well with some Hanchakuin English translation of some of the words. Some of the words are similar to, the Yawanawa language belongs to the same language branch as the Huni Kuĩ people's language, which is called Hanchakuin. So they kind of understand each other. but there's some nuanced differences. Um, and many of the tribes around there in Acre, at least, are connected as well. So there's might be some similarities. But if you're curious to understand a bit about what the songs might mean, that dictionary might be helpful to get some idea. Now, the indigenous songs, their prayers, they're not like, how we in English we have this, like, we but even in English, I think songs, they can be like poetic. They're like stories, and there's often the lines carry meaning as well that come from cultural context. So the indigenous songs, they many of the songs, they evoke different kinds of animals, birds, and plants, and other kinds of spirits, and they have different kind of descriptions and things like that. But it really requires also an understanding of their cosmovision and their ancestral stories to be able to understand the bigger context and what they mean. So it's not something that it's possible to like just like look in a dictionary, like, oh, that word, that word, that word, and this is what this song means. So it's a process. It's a deep journey to learn how to study these songs, and it takes time, and one needs to invest the energy, the time, the money to get the deeper meaning and the knowledge. So I just want to like share that for those of you who might be in a hurry to get it all offered to you on a silver or gold platter. uh, I know that feeling as well, like, oh, I want to know it all now, and like, oh, it's something, but it's a journey, it's a process, and it requires reciprocity. I understand, nothing in this world is really for free, even though sometimes we are given that kind of idea or illusion, because we are all here co-creating and sharing in this bigger system. So I do recommend, if you want to study these songs deeper and get into the deep meaning, to if your path or intention is to be a space holder that channels these spirits of the forest for healing spaces, that you do find ways to invest in your study, because that brings integrity into the whole process. But yeah, I hope something that I spoke about here was eye-opening for you, maybe inspiring, motivating as well. If you feel curious and interested to know more about these songs, I'm going to add a link to my songbook. I've got actually two songbooks. My first songbook is called Spirit Sings, which is a compilation of almost 300 medicine songs in many different languages from my path and journey with ayahuasca. And then my second book is then called Siriani's Enchanted Forest Songbook, and it's dedicated to the Huni Kuĩ songs that I have studied. It's a compilation of these kind of artistic versions that I've learned from the Txanas, the artists that are singing, and then I've added there like my own versions, which have like a more kind of like correct version of the prayer based on my study. So if you're curious to learn and understand more, you can check those out. And yeah, if you're curious also like about how to deepen your connection with the spirit realms and with the plant medicine work, um, in a kind of like from a space of relationship, uh, I've got a little guide that I'll also share, a reflection guide down below, which the intention of that guide is to help you become aware more about how to be discerning and sovereign on the plant medicine path. And that relates to this music and what kind of energies we invoke when we sing and we pray. And yeah, because that's if we want to hold clean, contained space, it's important that we know how to discern have good boundaries. So that discernment guide is available there as well. And I'm going to be opening up an online course here sometime in the near future. Don't know the exact dates yet, about how to walk uh, the plant medicine path with greater confidence and yeah, and clarity and discernment, and so that we can actually be in relationship with the medicines in a way that supports us and supports them and supports nature and support, so that we can support our community and humanity as a whole better as well. Check those out if those sound interesting to you. Thanks for being here, listening to the end, and hope to stay connected and keep walking this mysterious, magical journey of medicine music and plant medicines together with you. So have a good, wishing you lots of joy and blessings and beautiful connections and lots of healing and transformation and learning together with the medicine songs. They really are a huge gift. So yeah, wishing you all the best on that journey. Thank you.